Previously on Battlestar Galactica.
Der Angriffssteuer war Befehl! Das war ein Befehl! Jeder wird mit meiner Augen zur Reihe Eis! Die gesamte Generalität sind 2000 Haufen niederzuzünden! Sich ohne Ehre! Feindjäger! Verreiter! Versager! Die Generalität ist das Geschmeiß des deutschen Volkes!
There's something you have to understand about Expattaffy. Apart from his self-delusion, insanity, and massive ego, once he decides he is right, that's it. No amount of evidence to the contrary will change his mind, which is a bit of a problem as Expattaffy has suffered from pareidolia for at least the last 7 years. And all the proof you need that Expattaffy suffers from pareidolia is in Expattaffy's first 3 videos in which he saw someone hiding under the Apollo 16 lunar module, as it sat on the lunar surface on April 21 to the 24th, 1972. Let's take a quick look. I'm one of those mythbusters happy to call Expattaffy's nonsense what it is. Nonsense. You'll notice he shows a photograph of the man that he says is hiding under the Apollo 16 LM that he later refers to as an Air Force security guard, which is an odd thing to say as the man is wearing a U.S. Air Force flight suit while standing in front of a U.S. Air Force jet. Perhaps Expattaffy doesn't think a black man capable of being a pilot in the U.S. Air Force. This is classic of Expattaffy. His pareidolia allows him to see something that is not there. Then he claims it's an Air Force security guard, despite the evidence of the photograph that shows that he was an Air Force pilot. And despite finding the photograph of Major Robert Lawrence, he does not identify him as such. Expattaffy looks at a photograph of the A-16LM on the lunar surface and sees the face of a black Air Force security guard. Expattaffy finds a photograph of that black security guard and doesn't bother to find out any more about the man. For Expattaffy he is just a black security guard and that's all he needs to know. And that, for Expattaffy is called research. For him that's getting all the facts, before coming to a conclusion, which is what you should do before coming to a conclusion. Had Expattaffy done any research to back up his claim about Major Robert Lawrence, he would have known that he died in 1967, nearly 5 years before Apollo 16 landed on the moon. And that's the brilliant Expattaffy. He looks at an Apollo photograph. His pareidolia allows him to see whatever he wants. He decides what it is, and that's it. No more questions, no more research, no re-examination of the facts. It is what Expattaffy says it is. Disagree with him, and you're a mentally insane idiot. Why? Because Expattaffy says so. Which brings us to the Flamingo on Buzz Aldrin's right boot. The one that Expattaffy refuses to accept is nothing more than his Pareidolia run riot, one that he explains away as a magical whistleblower clue, a clue left for him by a person or persons unknown, and known because he has never proven their existence.
Okay, folks, to start off, I'll give you some examples of what these two nutcases claim to be pareidolia. Some of the findings of the brilliant Expattaffy over the last 6 or 7 years. I've got hundreds of them, but we don't want to make the video too long. I'll just give you a few examples so you can compare the findings of the brilliant Expattaffy to the findings of those two nutcases working for NASA. And you can make up your mind who you think is mentally insane. And just remember, folks, the brilliant Expattaffy is here, showing his face, using his brain and his own voice. And no matter how many times I offer those nutters the challenge, they will not take it up. They haven't got the courage of their convictions. So let's take a look at a few of the examples of the brilliant Expattaffy that these nutters claim are pareidolia. Let's take a look at a few of them, shall we?
Okay, we'll start off with this one here, one of the first discovered by the brilliant Expattaffy. Buzz Aldrin standing in the footpad of the LEM for the Apollo 11 LEM, and look what we got. We've got a little whistleblower's clue here, the head of a pink flamingo. You can distinctly see his curved down beak, his mouth, a white eyeball, a black pupil, a pink head and a long neck, just like his mother here.
Before we look at Expattaffy pictures of flamingos, let's take an extended look at the photographs of Buzz Aldrin coming down the Apollo 11 lunar module ladder, and see if we can see any flamingos on his boots in any of the other photographs. In this video I'm not going to discuss Expattaffy's claims of whistleblowers leaving clues in photographs, as he has never explained who they were, how they got access to the photographs, how they changed the photographs, or How they got the altered photographs past security. If you're committing the fraud of the 20th century, surely you have someone checking everything before you release it to the general public. Yes, at that angle, and in that lighting, it does look a little bit like the head of a flamingo, which is exactly what pareidolia is. You and your brain working together to make sense of what it is you are looking at. So let's have a look at the Apollo A7L overshoe, or moon boot, as worn by the Apollo astronauts on the lunar surface, to see if we can make sense of what we are seeing. In the photo on the left, the arrow points at the bottom corner of the A7L overshoe strap. The arrow in the right-hand photo points at the same spot. The end of the strap appears vertical in the left-hand photograph because Buzz is standing on the LM foot pad. As a result, his heel is higher than his toes. In the photo on the left, the arrow points at top front of the A7L overshoe. This area is white. The arrow in the right-hand photo points at the same spot. When viewed at the odd angle caused by Buzz Aldrin standing on the LM foot pad, with his heel higher than his toes, the white top front of the shoe combined with the overshoe strap, creates the image of a flamingo. So is it the image of a flamingo, inserted, somehow, by whistleblowers, who, coincidentally, placed it exactly where the overshoe strap, and the front top of the shoe, when viewed at an odd angle, create the image of the head of a flamingo, as a clue, or is it just pareidolia? Answer: it is just pareidolia. And now, back to Expattaffy.
There you are. So that's where you are. I've been looking for you for the last 45 years. What the hell are you doing up there? Hello, Mama. Now, let me tell you folks, this little pink flamingo, they've realized it was an embarrassment, and they've now altered the photo. They tried to make out that that little pink flamingo there is a grey bootstrap and a buckle. Well, there's no astronaut with a pink bootstrap, is there? Now, if they have altered the photo, they must have recognized that it's a genuine giveaway clue. They had to alter it. If I was wrong, if it was pareidolia, there'd be nothing to worry about. They would have left it as it is.
And we'll stop there, as Expattaffy has a tendency to drone on and on about nothing. Conclusion: Expattaffy has, and continues to, make claims about Apollo photographs that have no basis in reality. He looks at photographs and sees everything and anything. He suffers from extreme pareidolia, and that pareidolia makes him think that he can see clues, inserted in the photographs, by magical unproven whistleblowers. And the reason Expattaffy believes in his magical unproven whistleblowers, is because he never does any research. He thinks he sees something. He makes his conclusion, no matter how ridiculous, and that's that. When asked to prove his conclusions, he has nothing, because he does no research. The result is that he is desperate for a reason for his conclusions, and all he has are his magical non-existent whistleblowers.